Hi there, my name is Kaleigh Kurtz. I'm a professional soccer player for the North Carolina Courage in the National Women's Soccer League. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my career. When I was playing in college, I ended up transferring from the University of Richmond to the University of South Carolina. When I transferred, none of my credits transferred with me. And so in order to graduate in time, I ended up having to take a bunch of summer classes, and I really pushed myself and took 16 credit hour summers, and I just really wanted to make sure that I graduated with my class. That was something that really stuck true to me. When I finished my college soccer career, I didn't know if I wanted to play professional or not. And I remember when we were playing in the Elite Eight in my senior year, I could see the clock ticking down, and it got to about 2 minutes left and we were losing. And I just started crying. And I just had that feeling that it was over. And when the final whistle blew, I ended up crawling up into the stands, and I gave my dad a hug, and I was crying, and I kept telling him there's no way that this is the last game I ever play in. I'm not ready for that. So I ended up finishing my college career with some good amount of personal accolades, and I entered the NWSL draft thinking that, I might get picked up and a team might want me. I flew to LA for the draft and never ended up getting picked. I watched the whole thing. I was on the plane waiting for a text message from a coach. I had been told that there were a few coaches that were gonna probably text me and let me know that I was gonna be picked in number 20, 30, whatever it was. That never transpired. So I had a little bit of a confidence dip and was like, you know what, is this what I want? Is this how my career is gonna go? I ended up graduating college, moved to Sweden to play for 4 months there. And then I realized that caliber there just wasn't as high as I was looking for. And if I'm going to do something, I usually put my whole heart and soul into it. So when I finished in Sweden, I realized that I wanted to play in the NWSL. And so I started talking to a few coaches that I thought might text me. And there were 3 coaches that said that they had spots available for me to come try out on their team. I ended up picking the North Carolina Courage that had 1 roster spot available. My dad thought I was absolutely crazy for doing this. And I ended up trying out, and it was a month-long tryout. I had no idea if I made the team. I actually called my dad right before the tryouts ended, and I was like, there's no way. I'm hanging up the boots forever. And that was the decision I came to before I ever tried out, was if I make the team, great, I'll continue playing soccer. And if I don't, I'm gonna hang up the boots forever. My career with soccer is done. And I ended up making the team. I got told on the very last day of tryouts. And I loved that year. That first year was so monumental to me. I learned so much. And then the second year, I started having a really hard time, and there were some things that I couldn't really control, but I went through a really dark period where the safe haven of soccer that I'd always felt and that passion kind of burned away. And I joke now about it with my boyfriend because he was in the thick of it with me when I didn't know if I wanted to continue playing. And I was asking him all these questions about what, based on my personality, what kind of job do you think I'd be good at, blah, blah, blah. And we started looking at project manager type jobs, something where it's very task detail oriented. And he was helping me try and look up interviews and how to interview. And then I was like, this doesn't feel right. I need to continue pushing through. I need to keep playing. I can't end my career with this. So I kept playing. I had another couple hard years, and I'm now in my 6th year as a professional, and I'm still with the North Carolina Courage. The last 2 seasons, I have played every single minute of every single game. I never gave up, and I had to completely reorient and rethink about the way that I see myself and the way that I view success. And it's not always about the minutes that you get on the field. And I learned that lesson in college, where I ended up not being the best teammate that I could be because of my jealousy and my ego got in the way. And so I started saying things about, I started blaming other people, and it was never my fault. So this time it was the biggest reflection of turning the mirror around and focusing on controlling the controllables. Now in my career, we have won 2 NWSL championships, 2 NWSL shields, 1 International Champions Cup trophy, 2 Challenge Cup trophies, and we are continuing to grow, and I hope that I can leave a legacy not only for myself, but really pave the way for soccer players in the future. My biggest goal for what I do with Soccer Resilience is being able to share my story and know that no matter how alone you feel in some things, you're never actually alone. You're not the only person that has anxiety. You're not the only person that has these hard feelings. But if you continue to push through that discomfort and you get to the other side, then there's this amazing open door for you that's just going to light and pave the way for everything else you want to do. You just have to keep pushing through sometimes, and it's so hard. But I hope you realize that the other side has so many benefits. Keep going. So in 2024, I hope you really push through. I hope you show that perseverance, you show that resiliency, and you go after those goals and those dreams that you've always wanted to accomplish. Good luck.